The third international Wushu competition routine Taijishan, that is a 40 form, was created and designed based on the foundation of the routine from the third international Wushu competition routine Taijishan and the Taijishan. It strictly follows the principles and trends of technique development of Wushu routines and the requirements of competition. The routine has a rich content as well as featuring a substantial variety of movements and it's of moderate level of difficulty. Its choreography is unique with a compact structure. Okay, there's a jump for the athlete. Good.
Jumping front kick into the jumping
Good.
lotus kick.
Very good. The movements throughout the routine are conventional and the transition is smooth. These movements not only demonstrate the characteristic of Taiji movements of being centered, upright, and flexible, exhibiting sequential dynamic movements and still pose with regulating swiftness and slowness, yet balancing strength and gentleness. They also display the fundamental characteristics of Taijishan's techniques. Okay, there's a tornado jump. Oh, good landing.
Yeah, it's very stable landing. And comparing to the other events we've watched in the previous days, if you've joined us for the Nanquan and Changquan categories from yesterday, a lot of what we'll be watching today is control and balance of these athletes much more than the fast, powerful movements. However, Taijishan, specifically the Tai Chi Fan, incorporates a lot of basic foundational techniques from Chen style Tai Chi. And this is the dragon squat balance into the 180 single leg raised knee spin, which is quite good as well. And let's give a round of applause from our first athlete of the day, representing Italy, Ariel Pastro. Very great performance to start off the morning. Let's wait her final score. And later on throughout the day, we can start to talk about some of the deductions we'll see commonly. So her final score is 8.503, currently placing in first.
So the number 30, that is her kicking leg is lower than shoulder. I guess that is the jumping tornado kick.
Yes, especially for that, the tornado kick 180 and landing on the same leg as you kick with. It's very difficult for these athletes to...
If this kick is over shoulder, that might be the first jumping front kick and connect to the butterfly. So this also is very possible lower than shoulder. Yes.
And up next from Kyrgyzstan, we have Sadat Kahim Alavia. One other aspect, a little bit different than what we've been watching in the previous events yesterday, is these athletes must complete their routine along with music. And before they actually start to sign up for the competition, they have to have their music selected, and it has to be within regulation. It's to show the judges that their movements are in the same rhythm as the music, and they can start and finish in the same time period. And jumping outside.
We can judge it from her few movements. That is, she has started the Taijishan is not a very long time. You can see the basics of her walking, stepping stances, and the jumps. Yes, she still needs time to practice.
Yes.
Okay, see the jumping tornado kick.
Tornado kick into the single leg balance.
So it's even she couldn't jump in the air and land with the same leg.
Yes. Tai Chi requires a lot of your lower body, lower extremity strength and explosive power, not only just the flexibility and the slow elegance and soft.
So this is a skip and also additional support because she already lost her balance.
So we can see a lot of these.
She already missed one big movement. That is the 下叉腿低式 lower backward cross leg squatting. So she missed a very big difficulty movement. I don't know how the judge will just give her the score.
Regardless of level, it's still great to see all these athletes putting themselves on the stage in front of all these judges. No matter what level you are, of course, when you have feedback from judges to know exactly where your mistakes are, it's a very valuable learning experience. Let's thank you from our athlete Kyrgyzstan as we await her final score.
This score won't be very high, to be honest, yeah. Because she missed many movements and a lot of deduction points. I wish she can go back to continue her training to improve, because this is a really short time for her to prepare for this competition.
Yes. But in all honesty, the score shouldn't be your final determining verdict of how good you are. It just shows you all the deductions are good key points of feedback where athletes can learn.
Yeah, this is a good chance for her to learn from other athletes.
Yes, that as well.
You know, this Taijishan contains the following, the 8 fan techniques comprising the Kaishan, fan opening, Heshan, fan closing, Zishan, fan thrust, Guashan, fan hook and parry, Liaoshan, fan uppercut, Dianshan, fan dotting, and Pishan, fan smack, Taojie and tossing and catch. So 3 stances comprising the gongbu, bow stance, crouching stance, and empty stance.
And a lot of this reason why Tai Chi Fan specifically incorporates a lot of movements from the Chen style Tai Chi. Oh, we have our final score.
Okay.
7.780. Currently placing in second. Again, deductions ranging 70B, 30, and 70A across the board.
The main deduction points that is from the balance, right? There's 70A or 70B. Okay, let's see these athletes from the Sri Lanka.
Up next from Sri Lanka, we have Punchavidani Lage Dinelama Linsa Fernando. To continue what I was talking about before with the Tai Chi Fan specifically is why it incorporates all these movements from the Chen style Tai Chi is because of the Fajing. In Chen style there is a foundational technique of explosive power coming from your dantian or your lower abdomen, and it's called Fajing. And that fits very well with Fan's basic theory, as well as the fan opening is a form of distraction and a sudden snap to distract your opponents. Beautiful fan toss. Jumping front slap into the outside loaded kick.
Yes.
Very good landing.
The kicking leg is over shoulder for sure. Okay, the next jump.
The jumping tornado kick. Single leg landing.
Oh.
A couple bit of bounces there.
Yes. And her slapping leg is might be lower than shoulder, but from my angle, it's not very accurate. Yes, might be.
Yeah,
okay.
so
This is the balance.
well, if there's multiple deductions for the same movements, the judge will just deduct it once.
This is a 后插腿低式 low balance with leg crossed behind. Okay, the following is a Fajing is a from the Chen style.
Around this section of the routines, we can start to gauge some of the foundational training that the athletes have gone through in regards to Chen style Tai Chi, because we'll be able to see whether or not they're using their hips and their core dantian area to generate force rather than just their upper body. And thank you for performing for us from Sri Lanka. We shall await her final score. Another good performance overall, just a few minor things with that one jumping tornado kick, single leg. That's a very difficult move to land.
I saw her practice in January this year, and she already has a great improvement this time.
And that's what it comes down to, improvement overall. All right, we have our final score, 8.193, currently placing in second with deductions ranging from 70B, multiple times, 30 and 70A,
Yes,
which
30,
have been all the
that is-
deductions so far.
Yeah, the 30, that's as I mentioned. The jumping tornado kick, her snapping leg is might be lower. So yeah.
Up next from Latvia, we have Zlata Vragova. Opening Fajing section. Fan toss. As we move into the jumps very shortly.
You know how to judge the quality of movement for the Taijishan. If you know a good athlete, his walking it should be very good, and if you see the athlete, he's heel off the ground when she's stepping or just do the bow stance or horse stance, that is not good. So from this one, I already found out she has kind of raised her heel in order to complete the next stance. So
Yes.
yeah, in the daily training time should focus on this, correct the movement, the steppings.
Yes, which is a balance of multiple things. It's the upper thigh strength as well as your heel and flexibility.
Yeah, the ankle flexibility
Ankle
is
flexibility,
very important. Yes.
All right,
Okay, the
let's
jump.
tornado kick, single leg,
Ah, good.
good landing.
Good landing.
Stuck that.
Yeah, you know, but her kicking leg is lower than
Yes,
shoulder.
it's
No
lower than
problem.
shoulder.
Only one deduction point.
One deduction.
Right? But no other.
Yes.
She just hold down her balance. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
and for
if
this
parting leg. Yeah, so parting leg should be
higher than the waist.
higher than waist. Yes. So also is good.
Yes, that was the heel kick. The single leg balance we just saw then.
You know, the Fajing should integrate the leg power and the waist
Yes.
power and the whole body. They should focus on that. And when you release power and relax immediately. So this kind of power releasing also should know the timing. When you should contract your muscle, when you should relax.
All right, great performance from our athlete from Latvia. Yes, the Fajings are a combination of power but also relaxation. Waiting until the very last moment to strike, and then as soon as you reach the final point of impact, a short burst of power, and then into immediate relaxation. And power always is generated from the ground into your feet, all the way through your hips and into your upper body. from your shoulders to your elbows, through your hands into your weapon. We have our final score, 8.516, currently placing in first with deductions 30 and 70A.
Yeah, very good.
Up next from Armenia, we have Sirinosh Avangian.
This Fajing, should also utilize the waist to make the body
Yes.
as a whole things to release power. This is change style.
Caught the fan there on the fan toss.
Since this is Taiji and the movement should be smooth.
Yes.
If you just pause each time, it's not Taiji. It's about Changquan,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So we can tell the athletes maybe she has started the Taiji.
Started her Thai journey recently. Yes. Jumping tornado kick.
Yeah, this is a quite challenge for some beginner to do this jump because it requires your jump leg land with the same leg.
Yes.
So depend on your explosive power. So within very short training time, you cannot achieve this. Okay, right now the balance. This also is very challenge for a beginner. Oh, but good. The 后插腿低式, the low balance with leg cross behind is okay.
And thank you from our athlete representing Armenia. Now await her final score. So when we talk about generating power from Wushu as a whole, It's always from your dantian, always from your waist and your hips. And that's one thing these athletes, you can tell between beginner athletes and more professional level athletes based on the amount of time and dedication they've been training these specific types of movements.
So when you want to release the power successfully, you must understand the defense and the offense techniques in each movement. When you understand how to how to apply the technique, then you know how to Fajing.
Yes.
So sometimes the Taiji master will let you to do kind of the offense and defense practice. Once you understand the meaning of each movement, then you know how to utilize your waist power to release Fajing.
We have our final score, currently placing in fourth with a final score of 8.153. Two deductions, number 30.
Okay, this athlete is from Chinese Taipei, Chu Yunan. Her level is quite high.
Let's welcome our athlete onto the stage.
You see her stances is very low and very strong and stable.
Yes.
And the Jinggang Dao is good. She utilizes her waist power.
Yes.
And the speed is very smooth.
You can see the sudden burst of power coming from her waist, generating straight up into throughout the fan with her Fajing movements.
Okay, jump.
Jumping front slap kick into the tornado, or the
Easy,
jumping lotus
right?
kick.
And her open fan is simultaneously with her landing. So this is very good skill.
Using the dantian to lead all of your movements first.
Enveloping the fan or twisting fan is good, and utilized her waist. Okay, right now it's a jump. This is a very important jump.
Tornado kick, single leg landing, a little bit of a balance mishap right there. But regardless, overall the jump was quite high and it was over the shoulder.
Yeah, she's a little nervous.
Yes. Competition mat, the competition environment.
Yeah, I saw her daily training is a low problem. It's a really good, but in competition time, then this is a different. It's not only just demonstrate your skill and show your mental strength.
Yes. And the 180.
Very good turning.
Perfect 180 turn.
Yeah.
Yes, for the rest of those difficult movements completed quite effortlessly. Now we move into the fast section of her form. Very great performance from Chu Yuan, representing Chinese Taipei. And we have our final score, 9.013, with an overall performance score of 2.113, very high overall. Just that one deduction we talked about earlier, 70B.
Yeah, this is just she had a skip after her landing. But the whole routine, she just executed very good, perfect.
Yes, very. All right, we have our next athlete representing the United States of America. We have Victoria Ding. It's very impressive too to see these young athletes able to do such low stances and have such explosive power at such a young age as well.
Yeah, especially in very short time to prepare the new form. The Taijishan actually is a new form. Okay, see her tossing fan. Yeah, very
Clean
good.
catch. Yes, actually later for the 2026 Youth Olympics, the Taijishan will be the weapon category for the Taijishan event. So at the competition today, we will see many athletes competing in the Taijishan category to increase their experience. Look at the jump, jumping front slap into the jumping lotus kick. Tornado kick.
Very
again.
good. Yeah, a little skip.
Same deduction as earlier as well.
Yeah. I think this is a big challenge for the young athletes, yes.
It takes a long time to train these jumps and a little bit of age requirement too as the muscles begin to develop. So
under this stressful competition environment, yes, nobody can guarantee each movement.
but regardless, great difficult movements so far. To move into the fast section of the routine. That wraps up her performances. Thank you for Victoria representing the USA. We have our final score, 8.813, currently placing in second with that same deduction as earlier.
It's very good.
Up next, representing Egypt, we have Nissin Nesrin Adam Abdel Remihim Hosni. Very good opening with low stances.
Very good fan tossing.
Jumping front slap into the jumping lotus kick, very high kicks.
Yeah, no any deduction for her, right?
Definitely no deductions from those.
Yeah. This is a very talented athlete. She just has changed from Changquan to Taiji, not very long time, but you cannot tell.
Yes, that's very difficult to tell. I wouldn't have been able to guess myself.
Yeah.
We get ready for the tornado kick. See how she performs. Again, a little bit of failure to balance there. So far, proving to be the most challenging movement for all of our athletes this morning.
It seems this jump is really challenging for everyone so far.
Yes,
right?
But that balance is very beautiful. Her heel is actually above her head.
Yeah, very good, right? Very flexible.
Yes.
Oh,
a little bit of a wobble there as well.
It's two nerves. Actually,
Yes.
I also saw her daily training. It's no problem in January. This athlete took part in the Youth Olympic training camp.
I see. Yes, this competition mats, the official regulation competition mats too, are a lot different than what many people are used to training on, and the athletes here only have such a short time to practice on these mats. And along with the nerves or excitement and adrenaline, that wraps up our athlete representing Egypt's performance. Beautiful performance across the entire routine. Just a couple minor slip-ups with those difficulty movements. We have our final score, 8.546, currently placing in third with deductions ranging from 70A twice, 30 and 71.
So the 30 is about her jumping tornado kick. This is her kicking leg is lower than shoulder, and the 71 that is she has additional support after her landing with the jumping tornado.
All right, and up next, representing Brunei, Jerusalem, we have Lauren Yuqing Chua. Great fan toss and catch. Up next is the jumping front slap kick. It's the jumping lotus kick.
Very good. You can see her movement quality. The body form is very straight up.
Yes, her basic techniques and foundation are quite strong.
She's the Taijishan at the second place at the 10th World Kung Fu Championship, and the Taijishan 6th place at the 11th Asian Junior Wushu Championship. So she has a long history of that training.
Yes, and some very extensive competitive experience with a tornado kick. Another wobble there. We have the heel balance. Very good balance there. And we have the cross-legged squat. Foot did not touch the ground. Should get the full score on that. Very strong balancing power from this athlete as well. And that wraps up Lauren's routine. Thank you, representing Brunei, Jerusalem. We have our final score placing in third with a final score of 8.650. Up next, representing Germany, we have Mia Aria Xianglin Zhuang. Great fan toss and a clean catch there. Beautiful jumps. Stuck that landing quite well, actually. Ready for the tornado kick into the single leg landing. Another wobble there. But overall a very small deduction. Great balance so far.
Yeah.
Look at the cross-legged squat.
Oh, and kind of a torso sway.
And rounded off with a 180 single leg raised knee. Very good rhythm and flow with her music as well. Her generation of force and power is quite well as well.
Very good, yes. Her basics
Fajing,
is quite
yes.
good.
Alright, and that wraps up Mia Aurelia's form representing Germany.
Yeah,
Thank you
her
to our
score should be
athlete.
very high.
Yes, minus the deductions from the jumps.
Nothing.
Yes, but that's common across the board today, so there should be no discrepancies there. The 70B deduction we said earlier, where the foot shuffles or skips after a jump, the loss of balance deduction. So far, that's the most common deduction we've seen today. Yep, there we go. And we have our final score, 8.640, currently placing in fourth with deductions 30 twice and 70B and 70A.
So the 30, that means if the kicking leg is over shoulder and if you miss the slapping, still be deducted by the judge.
Yeah, a lot of the times the athletes are kicking high enough, but they just slightly miss their hand and it makes no sound, and the judges can't hear it and check the replay and you can't see it, then deduction on that. But we are moving on to our next athlete representing Singapore. In Zhe Nin.
This also is very good athlete.
See what she has to bring to the table.
Okay, you can see the athlete raise her hand. That means they just give the signal, can start to play music.
Yes. A couple of the athletes, they raised their hand before they came on the stage, and some of the athletes waited to come onto the stage. It's purely preference, and
Because the athletes' movement should harmony with the music, so
Yes.
generally their movements is already matched with the tune of the movement, so they need to tell the music player when they start to.
yes. As we saw in the previous performance, her rhythm and movements coordinated with her movement was quite well. That's another aspect of the Taiji category that we'll be witnessing today. Very good low stances so far. Another strong opening.
I noticed some athletes, the top athletes, their level is very matched, very tight, but the competition is just compare their mental stability. Yes. If they can perform
Great catch.
hundreds of their daily training level, okay, they can win.
Yes, the biggest thing is that tornado kick so far.
But from her performance, I suggest she still can use her waist to bring her movement. You see, she's still a little tight on her waist.
Aside from her Fajings, her stances are quite good, and flexibility
Very
is
good,
also
yes.
very clear. Get ready for the tornado kick to single leg landing.
Oh,
Beautiful
perfect
landing. There we go. We have our first athlete to successfully complete the tornado kick single leg landing today. Our heel kick.
Yeah, very good. Very high.
Yes. The requirement is actually only to kick above the waist, but more
Okay,
points if you can kick.
Let's see who's how to dish. Perfect, see?
Yes.
Low balance with leg cross behind and the body turn. Okay, this also will check her
Very
knee whether it's lower than horizontal, but very good.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, the rest part that is demonstrate her skill. Very good.
And a strong last couple movements to demonstrate her flexibility and skill. A very clean performance overall and very strong stances and foundational techniques. Thank you. For our athlete representing Singapore, we already have our score, final score being 9.160. No deductions across the board, placing in first.
Yes, so far this is the highest score.
Up next from the Czech Republic, we have Helena Rihak-Ova. hand toss. Ready for the jumps, jumping front slap into the jumping lotus kick. Tornado kick, single leg landing.
Oh, very good.
Good landing.
Good landing, yes. The movement looks not very good, but the
Landing was
effect is
still good.
good.
Yes, landing was still good.
And her kicking legs is lower than
A little bit low, yes.
Do you notice that?
Yes.
Okay, right now it's a heel kick. Okay, a parting leg. Very good.
Very high as well. We have the cross-legged. All right. Got through the balances right there.
Yeah, low balance with the leg crossed behind, but even stand with a leg behind, right?
It's very difficult, yeah.
But there's no deduction, to be honest. As long as your thrusting legs not touch the ground.
Yes, as long as that foot doesn't touch the ground.
Yes.
But if we were looking at athletes that tend to get a higher score, they're squatting down as low as possible for sure.
Yeah, someone might ask, oh, if I stand high and I just let you, my thrusting toe foot is off the ground, is that okay? Cannot be okay, because you will be deducted by the overall performance judge.
Yes.
Yeah, so the overall performance judge will evaluate your movement quality and give you a low score.
Yes, there's many things the judges have to look at from different angles when they're providing feedback to these athletes and their final scores. Thank you, Helena from Czech Republic, as we wait her final score. We have our final score, 8.203, currently placing in 9th with deductions 30 and 70A.
Do you notice that? It's the deduction code for Taijishan is focus and integrated and 30 and 70.
Yes, 30 and 70 is the most common thing we've seen today so far. Good learning experience for all the athletes, coaches, and future practitioners. Up next, from Brunei, Jerusalem, we have Amelia Yiqing Chua. Get ready for the jumps. Jumping front slap into the lotus kick. Tornado kick into the single leg landing. All right.
So if the athletes just fail to land with one leg, what do you think the deduction point will be evaluated by the judge? Generally, like this, we'll give
Like
the
70B?
71 additional support because you couldn't start with one leg, right? Okay,
I see.
the party leg is very good.
Yes, balance is very good.
Because the movement requires you land with one leg, but you
Yes.
cannot. So that is a general judge would deduct the 71.
Similar to other difficult movements that we saw yesterday, like the aerial, where athletes were using their hands to support, would get deducted in the same way.
Yes. Otherwise, for the other athletes are unfair because they spend a lot of time to train this jump.
And for compulsory routines, whatever movement is in the routine is the movement you must complete. The contemporary routines or the freestyle forms are a little bit different than what we are seeing today. In the contemporary routines, athletes get to choose which difficult movements, but for these compulsory forms, they must complete the movements given within the routine. Overall, still a very good performance. All right, so we have our final score, 8.353, and like you said, Professor Zhu, she got deducted number 71 for not being able to complete the jump and using additional support.
Yeah, there's a 26 that is her knee is a qixi single leg raise is lower than the horizontal level when she turning her body for the balance.
Ah, I see. Well, we are moving on to our next athlete representing Malaysia. We have Teo Serene Xin Ling. And for the people currently watching right now on this broadcast, this is the Taolu stream for the competition mat number 1. And it was stated that the following few days we'll have the live stream for Sanda. And right now in this competition mat, we are broadcasting the youth girls Tai Chi fan. Going into the jumps, the jumping front slap kick very high into the jumping lotus kick. Good landing and the proper amount of degree rotation on that. Tornado kick into the single leg balance again. Slight sway of the torso there, the deduction 70A. As we go into her two balances, very good. All right, very low,
Very
perfect
good.
balances. And that wraps up our athlete representing Malaysia's routine. Another very strong performance and demonstration of foundational Tai Chi techniques. We have our final score, 8.916. And as I said before, the deduction 70A for the torso sway, and currently placing in third.
The next, that is athletes from the Kazakhstan. Elena Isakova.
Yes, let's welcome our athlete from Kyrgyzstan. So when we talk about the Fajing, or the execution of power when we practice the fan Taolu in Taiji, the execution of power and the opening of the fan should utilize the whole body force, and it's generated from the waist and hips like we said before, and it's coordinated with your exhalation and vocalization. The driving force comes from the feet and the legs all the way throughout the body into the fingers. And you must ensure continuous and fluid movements before initiating jumps, and you must also avoid pauses. Taiji, never once should you ever completely stop. Taiji is the constant expansion or peng of your movements. Aside from avoiding pauses, you must also avoid unnecessary additional hand movements. A very good balance there from Alina.
Okay.
The movements can be slow, but they should never stop abruptly. There should always be the constant flow and movement and continuity of all of your movements. If we were to look at other techniques like Changquan, for example, they have very abrupt stopping postures and movements, whereas Taiji is the continuous, constant flow of movement between movement, leading to next movements as the athletes transition throughout their routine. So at the high level, and Taiji as a philosophy, the Tai Chi movements, they're never actually fully stopping when they complete any of their movements. They reach their movement to the fullest extent, and then they move to the next. Regardless, another good performance from our athlete from Kyrgyzstan. We'll wait her final score. We have our final score, 8.323, deductions 70A and 30. Currently placing in 11th. Up next, representing Vietnam, we have Timen Amvu. Beautifully controlled opening there to start off this routine.
Looks very good.
Yes.
Beginning
Stances.
movement, yes.
All right, good fan toss and catch there. Very clean so far.
Okay, let's see her basic skill of the bow stance. Very good.
Yes. A low stance there, but we can't just judge bow stance based on how low it is, because some athletes, they want to go low, but then their knee actually goes past their front toe, and that's a deduction. Along with being a deduction, it's bad for your body. Very clean jumps as well.
Very easy, and because her body weight is very light, so she can jump higher. Sometimes, the jump depends on the weight of the athlete.
There's definitely a sweet spot there between being light enough, but also having enough explosive power and muscle.
According to her stepping skill, I can tell she practiced the Tai Chi for a long time. You can see she really can control the speed of her
Little kick. Another loss of balance there, yes. Okay, hop the 70B deduction.
A little skill.
The heel
very
kick,
good.
very good.
Party leg. How about the low balance? 后插腿低式. Very good. And the body turn, and see her knee level.
You just gotta make sure that knee stays the same height the whole time.
Sometimes the athletes are scared to lose balance, so their movements cannot perform perfectly at the right position.
Yes. But it's very impressive for these athletes to come out on the stage, especially athletes that have little experience because they're all very young athletes.
As far as I know, the Vienna has a very good Taiji players before, so this is their Taiji tradition.
All right, thank you from our athlete representing Vietnam. We have our final score, 8.920, currently placing in third with the deductions mentioned as 70A and 70B. Again, 70A being the slight torso sway, and 70B being the skip or hop, the loss of balance.
So the 70B just occurred during her landing with the tornado.
Yes.
And the 70A might be her body turn with the balance, so a little torso sway.
All right, up next from Canada, we have Marinda Wei.
Very low stance. That
so
means
far.
she has a very strong leg.
Yes, very strong foundational techniques and footwork stances so far from our athlete. Let's see how the jumps are shortly. Good bow stance. The empty stance into the bow stance there. Jumping front slap kick into the jumping lotus kick. Good landings. This athlete, you can definitely tell it's more noticeable that the power is coming from her hips and her dantian when she generates force for the Fajing.
Yes, looks very good, and the body looks like the whole thing, right?
Yes. Body and Taolu and weapon harmony. Tornado kick,
Very
single
good.
leg landing. The heel kick. And the low balance with the cross leg behind into the single knee.
Very good, yes.
180.
Perfect turning. This is a very good athlete.
All right, thank you from our athlete representing Canada. Final score 8.923 with deduction 30, currently placing in third with an overall performance score of 2.03, surpassing that 2.0 line.
The 30, that is the kicking leg is lower than the shoulder. Two
Yeah.
parts, the jumping front kick and
Tornado
another
kick.
a tornado kick.
Yes.
Oh, jumping lotus.
Oh,
Jumping
it's
lotus
fine.
kick also is might be lower than shoulder. Most athletes, if they want to turn 1.5 circle, they prefer to lower their kicking leg.
All right. Well, we're on to our next athlete from Austria. We have Sarah Zamazal. For the spectators wishing to watch Sanda, there is no official Sanda broadcast for the first couple days of the competition. It will be shown at a later date. Beautiful fan toss and catch there. All right, we have the jumping front slap kick into the jumping lotus kick.
Okay, the final score is 7.973. 是吧？This athlete is from Italy. Name is Eva Zago.
All right, welcome back. Sorry for the technical difficulties with the sound there. Again, let's welcome our athlete representing Italy onto the stage in the girls youth Tai Chi fan category. Get ready for the jumps. Jumping front slap into the jumping lotus outside. Good jump so far. Jumping tornado kick into the single leg landing.
Good.
Good landing.
Good landing, yes.
All right, we have our first balance, the heeled kick. Keeping that knee straight, a very strong balance to start it off. And go into the back leg cross. Very close there to the ground with that balance. And a low crouching stance to wrap up her routine. Thank you to Eva from Italy.
The condition of this athlete is quite good. She needs the time to train and improve her overall performance skill.
Yeah, well, she actually only has around 5 years of experience as a competitive athlete, so the journey is only just beginning, right? 5 years is not very much time to prepare. And we have our final score, 8.550, currently placing in 10th with deductions number 50 and 26.
Yes. 50, that is the bow stance. So the bow stance, the general is on get deduction, but for her, I guess that is her knee. It might be over the toes, supporting toes, so that's why she get a deduction. And the 26, this is a knee lower than the horizontal level. The single knee raise. Yeah, this is a balance.
Yeah, so for deduction number 50, there's a couple of ways the judges that can come up with that deduction. We'll get back to that shortly. First, I have to introduce the next athlete, which is from Burkina Faso. We have Kindo Janeba Yasmin. So one of the ways athletes can get deducted for code number 50 is the knee of your front leg is not above or in front of the toes. So if your knee surpasses your toes or goes behind your heel, they will get deducted for code number 50. Another very uncommon deduction, because most athletes train to have very long strength and understand that bow stance is a low stance, is the leg is not horizontal and their upper thigh may be above 45 degrees is another code deduction for 50, but we shouldn't be seeing any of that today. But for Tai Chi specifically, it might be more common to see something like the sole of the rear leg is off of the floor, so the heel gets picked up off of the floor when they move into a next movement, or because they are not at that level of strength and flexibility yet. Have our jumping tornado kick to the single leg balance.
The direction is a little wrong. Should head to another corner.
And this movement actually is the heel kick, or the deng tui, not the fenjiao movement.
Yeah.
Not the toe point. So those are two different balances.
I think since the Youth Olympic game will be held at the end of this year, so it's time very tight for some athletes to prepare.
Yes.
So need to train really hard.
A lot of thinking and focus behind this athlete's eyes. One of the key philosophies in Tai Chi is that the eyes need to be going beyond your hands the whole time. So looking at the ground and looking up to think are slight deductions on the performance score. Your eyes are the gateway into the spirit of the athletes. But overall, it's great to see countries from all around the world competing in Tai Chi as our new global modern sport. As these athletes may be preparing for the Youth Olympics later in 2026 in Dakar. All right, we have our final score, 7.610, currently placing in 22nd, with deductions 70B, 30, 26, 70 A and B again, and 19. All right, and the next athlete representing Benin, we have Nelsie Puifa Kalia No Dauphine. Here we have our first Fajing into the get ready for the fan toss. And caught the fan quite clean.
That's good. As far as I know, the Chinese Association, Wushu Association, sent a delegation, coach delegation to Africa to give them some instruction. Because this time it is first time the Wushu is an official event in the Youth Olympic Game in order to promote Wushu in the Africa. So the Chinese Wushu Association sent the best coach to provide instruction for them to improve their level. So
Yes.
far we still can see the effect.
Yes, we can definitely see some foundational skills here within this athlete. But a lot of these things, like the jumps we're about to see, tornado kick, a slight loss of balance there. It's okay. These kinds of things take a lot of time and dedication for the athletes to take. So even if you have a very good coach, you still need to put the hours in.
Yeah, right. But the athletes from Africa, they are very talented. They have a very good physical condition. So I
Yes.
think if they can spend a lot of time on the training, I think their level can improve very quick.
Pretty clean balances so far. We have that 180 there. The knee was not raised above the waist.
Yeah, the knee is lower than the waist, right?
Yes. See, a lot of the times when you practice in day-to-day life, it might be something you forget or you're not paying attention to.
Yeah.
Your eyes can't look at your knees when you practice, so it's all about spatial awareness and body awareness. Tai Chi is a practice of the body and the mind as a whole.
Yeah, Tai Chi is considered a very difficult routine to practice. Therefore, some people call it Taijishan. The Tai Chi practitioner cannot go out of the door after 10 years training.
Yes.
That means the Tai Chi is very hard to practice, especially to master the Jin, the Fajing, the techniques.
Yes, Tai Chi is a very slow and steady martial art in nature. And it's reflected upon its practice as well. Slow and steady wins the race, as we say. We have our final score from our athlete representing Benin being at 7.086, currently placing in 24th. Up next from Singapore, we have Ao Jolin Ray Un. Some of the Chen style techniques in play at the opening of this form is actually very similar to 24 Chen style Tai Chi in behind the opening section of the form, and the dragging of the heel into those bow stances with the inner side of your heel, the very important key characteristic of the Chen style techniques in Tai Chi. Let's get ready for the jumps. Jumping front slap. And the jumping lotus kick, good landing there too. Great control of power and elegance from this athlete. Have the tornado kick into the single leg landing.
Very good.
Very good landing.
So the two Singapore athletes they successfully land with the jumping tornado kick. So that means their coach has a special method to make them still, right?
Could be many things. Maybe they're in flow state right now as we go into the balances, the heel kick. Into the low stance, the cross leg behind. Very good holding that balance there. And a very clean crouching stance to wrap up her routine. Thank you to our athlete representing Singapore. We will now await her final score. All right, we have our second place contender with a final score of 9.134 with no deductions across the board. Therefore, the overall performance score of 2.130.
Very good score. And right now, the two Singapore players currently ranked number 1 and number 2.
Yes, we have our first and second place athletes as it currently stands from Singapore, only with a difference being in the performance score of 0.03. Up next, we have from Indonesia, we have Mironiza Naziha Magirasa.
Okay, this athlete also is very good.
Let's see what they have to bring to the competition mat. Clean toss and catch. Very good display of the foundational techniques of the Chen style.
The
and
jump.
Fan.
Yeah, very good. Landing and the jump also perfect in the air.
Very common thing we've noticed today about the athletes that have more experience is that first jumping front slap into the jumping lotus kick serves to be quite effortless. It's once we get to this next tornado kick, starts to be a little bit of instability between the athletes, really determine the top level athletes. All right, we have a little bit of a mishap there on the tornado kick, as we said. I've been mentioning, such a difficult move, especially for these young athletes.
You see her heel kick very high. Very high, right?
Very beautiful heel kick there.
This also is no problem.
Wow, very good as well. From a balances and technical standpoint, her foundational skills are quite high level.
Yeah, the skill, her basic Taiji skill also is very nice. Yeah, it's really like this.
Yes. And we have that last crouching stance to wrap up her routine. Thank you for my athlete representing Indonesia. Another strong performance today.
Yeah, very good performance.
I believe if we see more strong performances such as that today, with no mishaps in the jumps, then we'll be looking at some top 6 contenders. But we have our final score, 8.873, currently placing 7th with a deduction of 71 for supporting her weight after the tornado kick. Up next, representing the Philippines, we have Angel Palo. can tell this athlete has a history with competitive Wushu settings, and we can see that in their Philippine region events, the 2019 to 2023 national Wushu competitions. And this athlete in particular has been a gold medalist in those national competitions. So let's see what she can bring on the international stage. So get ready for the first jump, jumping front slap into the jumping lotus. Up next, we have the tornado kick into the single leg landing. Slight sway of the torso and then a loss of balance there in the hop.
Yeah, because the jumping direction when she pushed her leg is not very straight up, so that's why the landing was affected by her takeoff direction.
But a beautiful heel kick to follow that, and we have the balance a little bit short there. And a little hop there as well.
The young athlete is nerves. This is very normal. Yes. She needs the time to purify her mental stability.
But the routine goes on. You must complete the routine regardless of any mistakes you make, and they prove as learning experiences for the future. So jayo to all of our athletes today. Regardless, still another very great performance from our athlete representing the Philippines. Get a quick replay on those jumps while we await for her final score. All right, so we have our final score of 8.530, currently placing in 14th with deductions 30, 70 A and B, and 19. And 19 again is the low balance with the leg across behind stance when the
Touch the ground, yeah.
foot touches the ground, yes. Up next, we have our athlete from China, Hong Kong. We have Cheng Hei Yu.
Judging from starting position, this athlete has a long 20 years.
As you can definitely tell, you can see it
good.
in the spirit as well as through her eyes.
her 功力, yes, her training experiences.
Good first Fajing there to open up the routine. Beautiful fan toss and catch. We'll move into the difficulty movements. First is the jumping front slap kick to the jumping lotus kick. Very good jumps.
And you see the open fan and the closing fan is already used her waist power.
Yes.
And if we see the enveloping the fan, she also utilized her waist. Okay, so the 功力, okay, the 功夫, that is really good.
Now is the moment of truth for all the athletes. Most difficult part of this routine, the jumping tornado kick into that single leg landing.
Very good.
All right, she landed that perfectly.
Sometimes if you're judging from her takeoff direction, you can feel it's success or not.
Yeah. The nerves are not affecting her today. You can see that very experienced athlete here. Beautiful heel kick into the second balance, the low balance with the leg across behind, and held that for the full duration as well. Is very good. Into the raising knee 180.
Very good turning.
Beautiful Fajing there.
It's very good.
Yes, so far that Fajing section was very clean and precise. And the final crouching stance to wrap up her routine. Definitely one of the strongest performances we've seen so far. Yeah. Competition. Let's see how she ranks against our Singapore athletes.
Wow.
All right. Well, we have another new second place leader with the final score of 9.146. No deductions across the board. Still led barely by the Singapore athlete. Up next, from the People's Republic of China, we have Wang Jingyi.
Wang Jingyi is from the Hubei province of China, and she has started her Wushu training since 2018.
This is actually one of our athletes from the 2025 Taijishan first place gold medalists.
Very good. Fan catching.
jumping front slap to the jumping lotus kick.
You see her enveloping the fan is just integrate with her waist, legs.
Yep, and we have the tornado
Very
kick,
good.
single leg
Okay.
landing.
The landing is perfect.
Yes. Very clean landing. As soon as she landed on the ground, she didn't move whatsoever. It was very, very hard to do. As we move into the balances, we have the heel kick. Perfect heel kick into second balance. The low balance with the leg crossed behind. Almost looks effortless from
Very
the
good.
Chinese athlete. And a beautiful routine from our Chinese athlete.
Yes, very good.
Definitely a very high performance score.
Perfect performance. Yes. Wow.
All right, we have our new current first place athlete with a final score of 9.260. No deductions across the board, with an overall performance score of 2.260, the highest so far. Up next, representing India, we have Lintoy Gambi Liatanjam. We can tell this athlete has quite the history and a lot of practice in Tai Chi, as she was the 11th Asian Championship bronze medalist. And she started Wushu in 2016. Very good jumps there. right, now we approach our difficult tornado kick once again.
Wow, perfect.
There we go.
I also saw her practice in January, and today's performance is perfect compared to in January time.
Must mean she had some time to reflect and train those little things from the previous competition. Beautiful balance, heel kick there. And we move into the second balance.
Oh, good.
Very clean.
Very cool.
And the 180, single leg, raised knee position.
Good.
Very strong performance. From our athlete representing India.
This is really good. Perfect. Perfect shoe.
Yes, a strong display of her foundational techniques, as well as very light and elegant difficulty movements. All right, we have a top 6 contender currently in 5th place with a final score of 9.103 with no deductions across the board. So as you can see today, for the most part, all of our top 6 athletes, they have no deductions across the board. Perfect jumps and just a small difference between performance scores. Up next, representing Morocco, we have Suzanne Asanagi.
Very good open fan technique.
Yes, we can see another demonstration of high-level basic techniques from this young athlete. Fan toss and catch. Very clean and simple, effortless movement there. As we move into the jumps. Jumping front slap kick into the jumping lotus kick. Still some explosive power training to be worked on in the future for sure. But from a foundational technique point of view, she has a very strong foundation in her movements and her stances. To the last jump, the tornado kick.
Oh, good.
Still landed it barely. Very good. And we have our heel kick stance with the cross leg behind. And the single raised knee 180.
So the turning and still need to pay attention. The hanging knee should be higher, right?
Yes. Just some aspects of the balancing techniques that she has and her explosive power for future training. But sometimes these things only come with age. Overall, her foundation and skills are very good. She has a strong foundation for the future of her Wushu journey. Expect to see more representatives from these countries in the future. Another very great performance. Thank you to our athlete representing Morocco. And we have a final score of 8.506 in 19th with those deductions 30 and 70A coming up.
Yeah, and his overall performance score is good.
Yes, a 1.90 there, very close to the 2.0 mark. Up next, representing the Republic of Korea, we have Kwon Yum-chae.
This is a young athlete from Korea. I saw her took part in the East Asian Olympic training camp last year. She's shy before, but after the training, she was really happy and made a lot of friends.
That's one of the best things about being able to compete on the international stage is meeting all these new people and the learning experiences for the athletes to improve their wushu.
The results are not so important for young athletes. This is the best chance for the young athletes. They just communicate and make friends. Very good landing and jump.
This is currently our 33rd athlete in the schedule for the girls youth Tai Chi fan category. As we approach the end of this morning's section, we still have 4 athletes left with a total of 38.
Oh, very good.
tornado kick. Very clean, effortless balance there. Let's move on to the second one. Very clean as well. And the last 180. Very good
strong.
balances.
Yeah, good balance. I noticed she has changed a lot since last year I saw her. So her skill and overall performance skill is improved a lot. Very good, and I'm very happy to see the young athletes. They just after practice Wushu and they improve not only the skill and also their mental. See?
Yes. All right, another very strong performance from our athlete representing Korea. All right, we have our final score of a 9.026, currently putting her in our top 6 ranking, 6th place with 1 deduction, 70A, the torso sway.
Yes, I think it's really good enough for her. If she can maintain this place.
Yes, of course. The top of the ladder is incredibly competitive, and one slight deduction can throw you all the way down to the bottom. Up next, we have our athlete representing Bulgaria. We have Kalina Slavchenva. Fan toss, catch. Her routine, jumping front slap into the outside lotus kick. Slight drop of the fan there. The one deduction I was hoping not to see today, but we will most likely see it later on, is deduction 75, dropping of the weapon on the ground. We have our tornado kick to the single leg.
Okay, she even didn't do the jump. So the judge will just consider she changed the movement. Yeah.
Interesting.
Will be deducted by the vice head judge.
So that would be deduction 80?
It's not 80, it's another Another code number, yes. 80 is just change the directions.
Oh, 80 is changing
That's
directions.
missing one movement.
Ah, I see.
So this is the code number is 81. Miss or add additional movement will just be deduct. So this is point 1. Yes, correction. That is still 80. That is add or
Altering the compulsory routines in any way, and by
point 2.
All right, we have a final score of 7.620, currently placing in 30th. Up next from Uzbekistan, we have Samira Nigmanova. So the Taiji fan can be classified as a short-range and flexible weapon within the Wushu and traditional Chinese martial arts weapon systems. Unlike weapons like the straight sword and broadsword, the jian and the daoshu, the fan requires the athletes to have dynamic control of both the rotating force of opening and closing the fan, as well as the constant structural change when the fan opens and closes. Great jumps. That jumping front slap into the jumping lotus kick. We have the tornado kick to the single leg landing.
Okay, she skipped 3 times.
Skip 3 times.
So this is very clear. That is 70B. So the coach should suggest she just skip 1 and then just connect.
And then keep going, yes.
Keep going.
Yes, because you already made a mistake. So there's no reason to continue to try to do the balance in the competition setting. It might throw off your focus. So if you fail a movement, just move on to the next. All right, thank you from our athlete representing Uzbekistan, Samira. Now we wait her final score.
It's Uzbekistan. It's not Pakistan.
We have our final score from our athlete representing Uzbekistan of a 8.206, currently placing in 24th. Deductions number 30 and 70B. Up next is athlete number 36, Manai Zneb from Tunisia.
As a good coach, generally they should remind athletes to focus on adjusting, such as body posture and the movement, relax, calm, and natural, using the waist as a pivot. Stance and footwork, rounded groin and extended hip joints, agile, light, and steady. Regarding the hand forms and the techniques, just ask athletes to natural extension and the force exerted should be smooth. Regarding their eye techniques and the breathing, just look straight ahead into the distance and exhale downward. Striking techniques, the Fajing techniques are not fixed. One move can serve multiple purposes. The interplay of the emptiness and the solidness, relaxation and the tension, strength and the gentleness. So if the athletes can execute it accordingly with this, the score should be very high.
Yes, of course. And that's one thing to bring up again too, is the eye techniques. Sometimes when the athletes are nervous or they're trying to focus, they look at the ground or they look up into the sky in deep thought, but it's important to make sure your eyes stay steady as the judges are looking at your facial expression.
Yeah, sometimes we ask this athlete to keep the appearance, the face, the smile. The athletes always be nervous, so cannot show the smile and a very relaxed appearance to the judge.
Yes, that's very important, especially if you make mistakes. It's important that you don't show it in your face.
Yeah.
All right, we have the tornado kick into the single leg landing. We have our first balance, the heel kick into the low stance with the crossing the leg behind into the 180 single leg.
Gongbu Pisan, both stance fan chopping. It's a Yun San, that is a clouding fan. And turn over jumping fan chop. forwarding step, wiping fan, and crouching stance, upholding fan. Okay, ending position.
Another good performance from one of our final athletes. We have just a few more to go for our morning section of the girls' youth Taijishan categories with a final score of 8.330, currently placing in 23rd, deductions 30, 70B, and 26 again that have been common throughout the day. Up next, from New Zealand, we have Annie Harris.
The parting leg is too wide. Generally, the Taiji starting position, the left leg is as wide as a shoulder width. Too wide. Yeah.
The leg is too far apart, you start to get into the range of horse stance, and it's not actually the opening movement anymore.
Very good toss and catch.
Yes.
Actually, this is a fan thrust. It's not uppercut.
Moving to our first jump. The jumping front slap kick to the lotus kick.
Very good.
To the resting stance into the high empty stance. As we move into final jump, the tornado kick, single leg landing.
Very good.
All right. Still stuck that landing.
Her landing might be just lost her balance, but she immediately to change her center of gravity. Just hold her body.
Have our heel kick. Very clean balance there. Into the low stance, cross leg behind balance.
Very good.
Very good execution of that balance.
Yeah,
and
good
one
balance.
final balance. Make sure that knee is above the hips.
Yeah, not stop immediately and the direction to change.
And closing up that routine quite nicely, Annie Harris from New Zealand. All right, we have those two deductions that we mentioned. We have the deduction 30 and 70A with a final score of 8.563, currently placing 16th. Up next, we have our final athlete for the girls youth Tai Chi fan category. It is Kristina Chirkanova from Ukraine.
This is the last one for this morning. Her landing is okay, but the direction is a little changed, but it doesn't matter. And the fan press should be a little lower, so still a little high. Okay, let's see her turn it to jump. Oh, very good.
Still landed that quite nice.
Even her kicking leg is still very low.
Yes.
But doesn't matter.
It's hard to find the balance between kicking high enough and keeping your balance, or keeping your balance but kicking too low. So, things to work on for the future for sure. Move into our balance.
Sometimes it's very strange that the athletes spend a lot of time to improve their difficult their jumps. But their basic skill is not very nice. Compared to the others, they just spend a lot of time to improve their basics, but they just lose a lot of deductions points on the jumps and landing, the balance. So as a good coach should balance the two sides.
Yes.
Avoid any just other errors and also improve the quality of the movement.
Because they're all important for the development of an individual athlete, Tai Chi. All right, and a wonderful final performance from the Girls Youth Tai Chi fan category. Thank you to our athlete representing Ukraine.
Okay, let's see her final score is 8.4.
We have our final scores, yes. Currently placing in 23rd, 8.403, deductions 30, 70A, and 26. All right, thank you for joining us in this session 3 of the 10th World Junior Wushu Championships. That concludes our morning session, and we have our top 3 athletes being from People's Republic of China, Singapore,
and yes, Singapore and Hong Kong.
Oh, yes, Singapore and China, Hong Kong, yes. We will be back later at 2:30 Beijing time for the boys youth cudgel category.
女士们、先生们，今天是第2个比赛日上午单元的比赛已经全部结束了，稍后将要进行的是颁奖仪式。
Ladies and gentlemen, upcoming is a wedding ceremony. Please stay tuned.
女士们、先生们，第10届世界青少年武术锦标赛女子儿童组长拳项目颁奖仪式现在开始。
Ladies and gentlemen, the award ceremony of the girls' children 长拳。
有请获奖运动员、颁奖嘉宾入场。
Let's welcome the medalists and presenters.
为运动员颁奖的是
The medals and the certifications will be presented by
国际武术联合会名誉副主席
Vice President of the International Wushu Federation
刘瑞奇先生，国际武术联合会执行委员会委员
Executive Board Member of the International Wushu Federation
张金发先生。铜牌获得者
Bronze medalist
来自印度尼西亚，
representing Indonesia Jenny Negaseling
银牌获得者
Silver medalist
来自马来西亚，
representing Malaysia Wei Crystal Yu Tang
金牌获得者
Gold medalist
来自中国，
representing China
王毅瑞。有请颁奖嘉宾为获奖运动员颁奖。
Please welcome presenters to award the winning athletes.
女士们、先生们，请全体肃立，奏唱中华人民共和国国歌。
Ladies and gentlemen, if you may, please stand for the national anthem of the People's Republic of China.
请坐。
Please be seated.
请颁奖嘉宾和获奖运动员合影留念。
May we invite the presenters and athletes to take group photo.
让我们向获奖运动员表示热烈的祝贺。
Congratulations to all the medalists.
女士们、先生们，第10届世界青少年武术锦标赛女子儿童组长拳项目颁奖仪式到此结束。
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the award ceremony for girl children 长拳。
女士们、先生们，第10届世界青少年武术锦标赛男子儿童组男拳项目颁奖仪式现在开始。
Ladies and gentlemen, the award ceremony of the boys children 男拳。
有请获奖运动员、颁奖嘉宾入场。
Let's welcome the medalists and presenters.
为运动员颁奖的是
The medals and certifications will be presented by
国际武术联合会司库
Treasurer at the International Wushu Federation
洪茂成先生。天津市体育局宣传教育法规处处长
Director of the Publicity, Education and Legal Affairs Division of Tianjin Sports Bureau
范慧宇先生。并列银牌获得者
Joint Silver Medalists
来自新西兰、新加坡
representing New Zealand and Singapore, Brayford and Lim Bradal Junying.
金牌获得者
Gold medalist
来自中国香港
representing Hong Kong, China.
梁家轩。有请颁奖嘉宾为获奖运动员颁奖。
Please welcome presenters to award the winning athletes.
女士们、先生们，请全体肃立，奏唱中华人民共和国国歌。
Ladies and gentlemen, if you may, please stand for the national anthem of the People's Republic of China.
请坐。
Please be seated.
请颁奖嘉宾和获奖运动员合影留念。
May we invite the presenters and athletes to take group photo.
让我们向获奖运动员表示热烈的祝贺。
Congratulations to all the medalists.
女士们、先生们，第10届世界青少年武术锦标赛男子儿童组男拳项目颁奖仪式到此结束。
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the award ceremony for boys children 男拳。
女士们、先生们，第10届世界青少年武术锦标赛女子儿童组男拳项目颁奖仪式现在开始。
Ladies and gentlemen, the award ceremony of the girl children 男拳。
有请获奖运动员、颁奖嘉宾入场。
Let's welcome the medalists and presenters.
为运动员颁奖的是
The medals and certifications will be presented by
国际武术联合会执行委员会委员、道德委员会委员、
Executive Board Member and Athlete Committee Member of the International Wushu Federation
吴华斌先生，国际武术联合会裁判员委员会委员、
Judges Committee Member of the International Wushu Federation
古代娟女士。 铜牌获得者
Bronze Medalist
来自新加坡，
representing Singapore Hey Mei Mandy
银牌获得者
Silver Medalist
来自越南，
representing Vietnam Kian Han Ban
金牌获得者
Gold Medalist
来自加拿大，
representing Canada Chloe Penn
有请颁奖嘉宾为获奖运动员颁奖。
Please welcome presenters to award the winning athletes.
女士们、先生们，请全体肃立，奏唱加拿大国歌。
Ladies and gentlemen, if you may, please stand for the national anthem of Canada.
请坐。
Please be seated.
请颁奖嘉宾和获奖运动员合影留念。
May we invite the presenters and athletes to take group photo.
让我们向获奖运动员表示热烈的祝贺。
Congratulations to all the medalists.
女士们、先生们，第10届世界青少年武术锦标赛女子儿童组男拳项目颁奖仪式到此结束。
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes a award ceremony for girls children 男拳。
女士们、先生们，第10届世界青少年武术锦标赛女子青年组太极扇项目颁奖仪式现在开始。
Ladies and gentlemen, the award ceremony of the girls' youth 太极扇。
有请获奖运动员、颁奖嘉宾入场。
Let's welcome the medalists and presenters.
为运动员颁奖的是
The medals and certifications will be presented by
国际武术联合会副主席
Vice President of the International Wushu Federation
陈永杰先生，国际武术联合会技术委员会委员
Technical Committee Member of the National Wushu Federation Mr. Muhammad Razi Pramajala。
铜牌获得者
Bronze medalist
来自中国香港
representing Hong Kong, China
郑吃鱼，银牌获得者
Silver medalist
来自新加坡
representing Singapore Angeline。
金牌获得者
Gold medalist
来自中国
representing China
汪静怡。有请颁奖嘉宾为获奖运动员颁奖。
Please welcome presenters to award the winning athletes.
女士们、先生们，请全体肃立，奏唱中华人民共和国国歌。
Ladies and gentlemen, if you may, please stand for the national anthem of the People's Republic of China.
请坐。
Please be seated.
请颁奖嘉宾和获奖运动员合影留念。
May we invite the presenters and athletes to take group photo.
让我们再次向获奖运动员表示热烈的祝贺。
Congratulations to all the medalists.
女士们、先生们，第10届世界青少年武术锦标赛女子青年组太极扇项目颁奖仪式到此结束。
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the award ceremony for girls who use Taijishan.
好，各位观众朋友们，这是第2个比赛日上午竞赛单元以及颁奖仪式的全部内容。我们下午的比赛将在北京时间14点30分正式拉开帷幕。
Ladies and gentlemen, our next competition is about to begin. The time is 14:30. Please stay tuned.